Welcome back, listeners, to the Brighter Side of Blue, our worldwide podcast coming to you from Colombo's Café and Tavern in Dogtown, St. Louis, home of the famous thin crust Cibo's pizza and daily lunch specials. Today is the Big Mac salad special. I'm Danny.
I'm Tommy.
I'm JJ.
Producer John.
In the house. Tommy, we just had restaurateur Hall of Famers on the show. It was
Absolutely.
Vic Failoni and his nephew Joe.
Joe Miner, and they run Failoni's right now, and they have also Uncle Leo's that Joe's brother runs, John Miner, and it's all started by the Failoni family, Alex Sr. Oh, well, Grandpa Failoni.
Great grandpa came off from Ellis Island and got a job at Scullin Steel, and then saw the building and bought it for $9,700.
1916, right?
In
1916. It's great. It's a great story, and then talking to Vic and Joey, it was fun, and as you'll hear, it was pretty close to the family over the years, and it meant a lot to me, and to have them on, and we actually learned some stuff about Failoni's that we did not know after all these years in St. Louis.
Ton of history.
Being down there on Thursdays a lot, and tremendous. Like I said, like you said, it's an icon. Bar. We have other. We kind of want to mix that in. To our police stories and whatnot and so forth. There's a lot of places that policemen have frequented over the years, ate at, built relationships with. You have the Beffa family with Beffas. You have the Cybergs. You have, just legends.
Colombo's.
Colombo's here. That we've already spoke to, and the names go on. Maggie O'Brien's. Just places that we've frequented over the years and became friends with the owners, and that's part of the. But it was part of the charm of being a city cop. Back in the day when we all grew up in the city and we were all around, and we would frequent local businesses quite hard. Yeah. Especially the ones with alcohol.
Should we explain why we're drinking Bloody Marys?
No.
Yeah. No.
Hey, Tommy, do we have a special weekend for the Sawyer family this weekend?
We do. This will come out the Monday after, but we are taping the Monday. This is the Monday of the 27th. We just released the Dope Men special, and so we're here on a Monday morning. We're having a couple Bloody Marys to get us through this, but yes, this Saturday, my last daughter, is getting married, and JJ, Pastor JJ, is going to be the officiant of the wedding. So this will be fun.
My second and last.
Are you retiring? Are you going to announce it? During the ceremony?
He's quitting.
I said I wouldn't do another one. I would never do another one after the first one, which was fun. But then when Jordan called, I couldn't say no.
Of course.
So I don't want any other Jordans out there to call me.
So rehearsal dinner this Thursday night.
Yes.
And you mentioned our segment, the top dope men of St. Louis. We're a grassroots podcast, and that's why we ask you to like, subscribe, and share. But that one's taken off. So if you have time, tune into that. It's taken off through the roof.
It's only noon, and there's over 1,000. So.
Yeah, and so, it'll get to the 72 million across the world, and that's how we travel. Like, subscribe, and share. We'll go from there.
Yeah, I was going to see if the Failoni's, because apparently dope dealing and the dope dealers are very, very popular. I was going to see if the Failoni's would mind if we just started dealing dope out of Failoni's and get some hits out of there.
Eat some pizza.
Eat some pizza.
Hey, JJ, can you do christenings and stuff too?
No.
Just marriages?
No. Just marriages. I'm not even sure that
How about an
it's actually official.
How did this start with you doing officiating weddings?
My buddy Charlie Harris, he's actually he's a business agent for the pipe fitter. He's a real good friend. His wife's best friends with Lisa, and out of the blue, he asked me to do it because actually we set him up. And so I had a little story.
Do you have to be certified for such a thing?
I went online, www.reverend.com. It took me about 15 minutes to fill that. Not even that. About 5 minutes to fill that out. Cost me $40. Charlie still owes me $40.
I'll see if Jordan can pitch in 20.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I got this.
And then you get www.
All I know is yes, and I know is I just sign my name to the marriage certificate.
You do? Do you say some wise words or anything?
I do. I'm putting it all in my mind now. I practice in the car while I drive. Put things together.
We heard it was so good that's why Jordan wanted to do it.
Are you serious?
I rocked it.
His wife Lisa was very impressed, and JJ doesn't impress her all that often.
Well, sometimes.
And so Jordan said, "Oh hell no, I want him."
Jordan, well, we've been going to, our family and JJ's family have been going to Pensacola for years and years, and Jordan grew up with them. So
Right.
So do you think it'll be a video of this you can share with us?
there'll be at least pictures. I don't
Okay.
know that we'll get the video out, but there'll be some pictures out. I'm sure that some of them will already been on Facebook, but whatnot.
Okay. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, I'm
I like to
planning.
see
If I
the
screw,
round.
I'm a win-win. I do a very good job, or I screw it up so bad. They'll be
No,
like,
how many have
don't
you
ever.
done?
But this is my second.
So you didn't screw it up. You did a
I'm
great
saying
job.
if I do screw it up, it'll be a win. Either way, if they do
It'll-
good, it'll be a win. If I screw it up, means that no one
If
asks
you
me
screw
again.
it up, it'll be just straight up Sawyer stuff. That's what we expect. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
things that go bad.
And everything will be cool with
Yep.
it. Yeah,
Yep.
You'll be cool with that. That's pretty cool. All this here political correctness and I never really heard a good definition of what it means to be politically correct. Monty Python's John Cleese. He summarized what a good example of what political correctness is. And it is like, so picture yourself at a party and everybody is having a blast, off the charts. It is funner than hell party going on. And then you have that one crabby aunt or that comes and she's all fit and proper. She comes in the door and everybody shuts it down, buttons up their shirts, becomes really tame and this and that. And it just kind of sucks the air out of it. And then when the aunt leaves, it kicks back up and everybody has fun. That's what political correctness is. John Cleese is that's his definition.
I like it.
What do you think, producer John?
It's right on the money.
Sums it up.
I never had an aunt like that. My aunts were pretty crazy.
Yeah, you had a great aunt. God rest her soul. She
Yeah,
just
Della.
passed. Della passed away in the last year. She was funny as hell.
Yeah, she was fun to go out with.
Producer John's grandma took me and Joe, John's brother Joe, to many rock concerts when we were young.
Rush.
Rush, Kiss, Judas Priest,
Kiss.
38 Special, and it would be me, Joe, and Granny. And Granny used to live above the famous Ron and Shirley's restaurant on Watson, just lived right to the right of it. We'd go to a concert, and I don't know, at the time Granny was probably
Probably younger than us.
75. No, I was thinking, no, but she was probably 75, do you think?
Yeah, she was in her 70s.
She was in her 70s and taking us to concerts, and then we'd go back to her apartment and have pizzas and this and that.
Smoke weed.
No,
Okay.
no, we were high schoolers. We
Thought it was a really cool grandma.
no, I don't know what made me think about that though.
She was pretty cool though. She liked to drink and
Oh yeah, and have fun.
every St. Patrick's Day I'd have to get in the car and find her because she'd be out at some.
What was your first concert?
Kiss.
JJ?
Charlie Daniels.
Johnny?
Kiss and R.I.P. Ace Frehley, who died last week.
Oh. okay.
Yeah.
I was, what was it?
Blue Oyster Cult. That was pretty good.
Can't get that out. That and Black Sabbath, the Black and Blue tour.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, I think I was there.
Godzilla.
And we had Joe Frank had this system, Dialectics. Okay,
Yeah.
and back in the day, Dialectics had normal business hours, Monday through Friday, and at 5 p.m. on Friday they would just set their switchboards off, and so Joe Frank would call Dialectics at 5:01 on Friday. And you remember they'd always KC95. They'd 10 a.m. on Saturday. Tickets go on sale for Judas Priest or Kiss or whatever. It was always 10 a.m. on Saturday. So Joe would be on the phone at 5:01 with Dialectics, and he would just leave his phone. He had his own phone in his bedroom, own phone line. He would just leave it off from 5:01, and then I'd spend the night, and we'd wake up about 9:50 and 9:55 in the morning, and just hold it, and all of a sudden they just said Dialectics, and we were always, however many switchboard numbers they had, like usually 5 or 6, we'd be in the top 5 callers, and it worked for probably 25 concerts.
You never sat
kidding.
behind like 10th row.
Always in
like
the
a
top
year.
row.
That's genius.
And then all of a sudden, JJ,
They figured it out?
They figured it out, and it was like some big concert. We were all excited. We'll be in the top 5 rows, whatever. And we did it 9:55 in the morning, and all of a sudden, they cleared the lines. And it
Oh,
went,
no kidding.
yeah, and then, but it worked forever.
So you sat up top for the Backstreet Boys?
No, we didn't go to Backstreet Boys. No, I wasn't. I was a Rush. I was a Rush. I was a rocker.
What was the best concert you ever been to?
Judas Priest.
JJ?
Shit, I don't know. I didn't really go to a lot of concerts.
My favorite was Black Sabbath with Ozzy and Van Halen opened up, and it was like their first or second tour. So we didn't even know what we were getting into with Van Halen. And Eddie, we had 10th row for that, and Eddie was like, 20 feet in front of me, and it just blew my mind because we weren't expecting that.
I don't know if it's the best concert I've ever been to, but the funnest concert I ever been to was Billy Joel and Elton John at the stadium.
At the stadium, I was there. Yep.
Yeah, that was a
all.
fun one.
And I went to all the Rush concerts.
That was when that was date night.
Yeah.
It was fun.
All the Rush concerts were great for me, and I never.
Now, did your wife go to Rush concerts with you, or is she out on that?
No, she was out. That wasn't when we were married. It wasn't. No, she didn't go. I'd go with Joe Frank. That's what
Yeah.
Or my grandma.
Or
Rush isn't a real good date.
No.
Date concert.
No, it's
It's
not.
more of a bang in your head concert.
Yeah. Before I get to my daily things,
What do you got?
this day? Producer John, are you sitting on musings at the microphone with Producer John?
Come on.
Couple things. Failoni's host, well, they didn't host, but we had our 9th District reunion there Saturday. And I want to give a shout out to Mark Johnson and Mel Sheets who put it all together. But we had 30 people or so show up, old 9th District people. But Joey was there. I didn't see it. Vic might have been there. I didn't see him. But they're always a good host.
Did you get a group picture?
We got a couple of them. Vin Yee was there. And,
Okay, all
yeah,
right.
he desecrated one of the pictures.
Of course. Of course he did.
But anyway, no. But I wanted to. I wanted to bring up Ace Frehley, which we already got to. But there's another music story I have. Is one of the greatest police backers of all time was Elvis Presley. He had hundreds of badges from different police departments. He was an honorary Memphis policeman, but he got into it so much that he had his Lincoln Mark IV outfitted with blue lights and a police radio. And when he got bored, he would drive around and listen to the police radio, and he'd actually show up on calls.
Only the king could do that.
Yeah,
without getting
exactly.
arrested.
And he had a scanner in his house, and if he heard like an accident come out, he'd jump on his motorcycle and get up there. And a lot of times he was the first one there, and he would be like directing traffic when
Oh my God.
when the Memphis police would show up.
Probably causing accidents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he would pull cars over, him and his buddies, and he'd get out and flash. If somebody's like speeding or ran a red light, he'd actually pull them over.
Oh, in a Mark V.
But then he'd come up, flash his badge, but then he'd just give him a little lecture, and then he'd sign an autograph and hand it to him and get back in his car and take off.
Sing Jailhouse Rock real quick.
Yeah. But another cool thing he used to do is like on holidays, he knew policemen had to work and they were away from their families, so he'd go up to the Memphis Police Department and hang out with the guys just to kind of
that's-
thank them.
That is pretty cool.
I
Boost them around.
It seems like we should have heard of that before.
I know. That's crazy.
And if you've ever been to Graceland, there is a big, at least Dan and I went to Graceland at midnight one night
Yep.
because we were sitting at the
Cat's meow.
Cat's Meow, and they kept playing Elvis on the jukebox, and we got the idea to get in the car and drive.
So you went from Soulard to Memphis?
Yep.
Yeah.
It started at midnight.
Sounds like a solid decision.
The worst part was we got there at like 4 or 5 in the
It
morning.
didn't open till like 9 or 10. Yeah.
Then it was like 300 degrees that day, but
Other than that, it was great, huh? Yeah. At what point did you sit there and go, man?
About 2.5 hours into the drive.
I don't know.
There was
We
a
thought-
point of no
I don't
return
know. We
then.
thought this one through all
About
the way.
2.5 hours
well,
in.
the worst part is
Really?
I drove, so Dan slept the whole way, so he doesn't know how long it took. But Elvis did have in that little museum part. There was all his police badges, and I think I didn't research this, but I think I remember President Nixon made him like an honorary DEA agent too.
All right.
I think I heard that one too.
Yeah. Anyway, he was a good guy, and everything you hear about the guy is he.
So he would
Let's
love
dig
the
back
brighter
into
side
this-
of blue.
Let's dig into this road trip a little bit. Do
No,
you
I
stay?
think we'll
Do you-
leave her be.
Do you stay? I mean, do you stay the night, or do you just do a turn and burn?
We did a turn and burn once we toured
Just see-
Graceland. It was
Yeah.
That could be.
That was the worst idea you ever had.
the ride home was horrible.
I was just sitting here thinking about how horrible of an idea that was.
It got worse.
It was horrible.
I've had some bad ones. I don't know if I had any bad ones like that. though.
I'm just glad they weren't playing the Beatles, or we would have ended up in Liverpool.
Oh my God! Yeah, it was. Today's the 300th day of the year, unless it's a leap year. Then it's the 301st.
Okay, thanks for
today's the
clarifying that. 300.
And on this day in 2004, sad day for all of us here. On this day in 2004, the St. Louis Cardinals lost to the Boston Red Sox in the World Series. The first time the Red Sox won the World Series in 86 years.
I was on the field afterwards. It sucked.
Terrible.
It sucked.
And the
They killed us. What, it was like 13,
Yeah,
13
they
to 1?
dominated us.
And it
to
was a
see them
4-0 too.
celebrate.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And we were good. We were
No,
good that year.
terrible. Terrible.
No, I'm talking about the Cardinals.
Yo, I know.
They
weren't
that,
good in the
They had
World Series,
Edmonds, Rolling, and
Yeah.
I mean they had
It was
a
a fun
team.
year until that. They kicked
Yeah,
our
it was
ass in the World
unbelievable.
Series.
And then just got. I want to say something happened in that first game where it was we were going to win that first game 1. Something happened and then we didn't win that game and it just. There's a pipe up here that just said some water came down and everybody thought somebody peeing on the ground.
Well, it's usually
Yeah.
not this quiet when we're down here.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
I mean, usually we have 470. We probably have 180 people here.
Right.
Right.
And they're really,
And now
really
since
quiet.
it's Monday morning, there's only what 200-300. So
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can't really hear them.
You know, I consider us in the broadcasting. I think I consider us broadcasters.
Okay.
So my next thing
neat.
is, I mean, we are broadcasters.
Sure.
We're broadcasting.
We're broadcasting, but so a little bit of history, JJ. Once again, you're going to be brilliant at the end of this. On this day in 1920, the first commercial radio station license was granted to KDKA out of Pittsburgh.
Wolfman Jack.
No, so I don't know if Wolfman Jack ended up on this, but here they got this license, but it was a Westinghouse, the company Westinghouse. Really, they got a. They were using the radio for their different locations, their factories and their warehouses and that, and they were going to use this radio wave just to communicate amongst their own facilities to save money on telegrams, and wired phone lines. So they would just communicate through the thing they set up.
The original Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so they avoided the business expense of a hardwired phone line and the telegraph. Well, for shits and grins, they used this radio wave to broadcast the results of the 1920 November presidential election, and it was such a hit that they said screw it, and they started doing entertainment on this KDKA out of Pittsburgh.
Wow.
So
And that's when radio started, huh?
that's when radio. That's when for entertainment and people would dial in because of that. But it actually just started. They were just trying to save money and communicate amongst themselves.
So it was like Zoom that went viral.
What exactly? And they
I
said
like
people
it.
like it.
Interesting.
I like it.
So that's as smart as I can make you, JJ. And
Actually, I'm wondering who does your research for you?
me.
Okay.
I do it. I do it all. I do it all.
Google.
I didn't ever put that
But-
much effort in anything.
The hardest one was to figure out it was the 300th day of the year. I mean, that's a lot of research.
That is good.
So before we get to JJ Zen, though,
No, JJ's history.
JJ's
hero
right,
story.
but
Yeah.
we got to get some ads in here real quick. I think because if JJ would wreck his car today, where would he take that, Danny?
See Jason at
Got it.
Fairway Automotive.
'Cause he's off today and
If
he's
your
already
transmission
boozing.
dropped.
Oh.
If your tranny dropped or you need brakes, you need tires, you need anything. They do everything to replace entire engines on at Fairway Automotive.
Five locations. Yep.
I'd call Schicker first and see if it's on warranty. Still. For
Oh, yeah.
Accident or
And
whatever.
it probably would be if you bought that extra warranty
did.
from John Schicker, which
got it.
I did.
did too.
When you don't want to bicker about the price on the sticker, head on down to Schicker, where you get the best deal quicker.
Boom.
How does
So-
Jason do his thing down there?
If you, it's not only done.
Don't cut that.
It's not only done the right way. It's done the Fairway Automotive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marty Bird, Dr. Chris Dussel, Avail Professional Services, fine supporter of law enforcement, knows he's not going to get any accounting business out of this, but he loves law enforcement, and therefore he is one of our favorite
See, that's
sponsors.
a falsehood because he got business out of you when you were in the business. When
That's
you guys
true.
were in the weed business,
That's true.
you found them.
Yeah.
and then
That-
you went with them.
That's true.
So technically, they could. It's not likely. I think you're probably the only policeman that wanted to dabble in the weed game.
Yeah, we'll talk about that some podcast.
Yeah, that was fun,
Yeah, it was very good.
especially for me.
So tell us, set up this JJ being a hero thing.
Oh, so not too long, or 2 episodes ago, I guess, we had Tommy Carroll and Jeff Stone on. And we're talking about things at the ballpark. And, not everything makes the podcast. And then what we were talking about is JJ's viral moments. And I said JJ's had a viral moment when he looked down into the hole downtown and there was a car in
sinkhole,
there,
yeah.
and he's bent down. And then, of course, we all know the mega hat incident that happened recently, and he blew the first one away. And with that one, and Jay just, well, I had another one. I go, what? Another one? He says, yeah, we were in People magazine because of this one homeless guy we saved. I go, dude, we've been having a podcast for 2 years, and this is the first we're hearing of this homeless guy you saved. And he went on to tell the story, and we didn't put it in there because I was like, this kind of deserves its own story.
Right.
And the Reverend over there. I mean, this is a great story. JJ, tell us a little bit about this.
I'm gonna tell you. Can I tell you one more viral moment I had?
Yeah. Let's start with that.
Not as big. I was working the baseball stadium had the Chelsea soccer game practice, and so I worked it. And I was on the field. And some Chelsea players walked over to the sidelines to sign autographs, and the young kids there was no rules. They all rushed to the wall right there by the dugout, and they're waving their thing to get signed by the Chelsea stars. And I'm standing right there, and I look at this lady, and she's got panic on her face, and she's yelling at me, her son. And so I'm like, what? And he looked down, her little boy, cutest little dark-haired kid, probably about 5 years old, 4 or 5. He got trapped in between
The brick wall and
the kids, and he was like freaking out. So I reached in, picked him up, got him out of there. I hold him. Post-dispatch gal comes and takes a picture of me holding this kid. I have my hand on his chest, like, you're all right, buddy. And the Chelsea gal, she works for Chelsea, came over and she saw this, and she says, "Where's the mother?" I go, "She's right here." I was gonna just give her back down, walk down a little bit. She goes, "Bring the mother on." So I grabbed the mother, picked the mother, help her get onto the field. They took the little boy onto the practice field. It was winding down, and he got go all the way, see all the players, run around the field, and they took him to the dugout, into the locker room, and he got all kinds of things signed and stuff. So
you get that picture?
I do have that picture.
Get it to Tommy.
JJ is the Rev.
He is the Rev.
I think we're going to go
Saint
with the
JJ.
Rev outside of JJ.
Saint JJ.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's unreal.
Yeah, well, just lucky. Shit just falls in my lap sometimes.
Yeah.
But I felt bad for this little boy. He was a cute little kid, and he had a panic look on his face, dude.
He probably was getting crushed.
He was,
You know, when you're 5 years old
Yeah.
against a brick wall.
Yeah.
All right, now
So
let's
tell
hear
us
the
about
story.
this homeless gentleman that actually wasn't just JJ. A
it's
group
a
of
group.
friends of his from high school all
It starts-
pitched in and they took care of this guy.
Facebook was actually a big help on it, actually. But let me give you a little history of this kid. Tim was quite a bit older, probably 7, 8 years older than me, maybe more. But he was.
What's Tim's last name?
Osborne. Tim Osborne. He was. What's the correct terminology? He was went to special schools. He was a little hard of hearing. He talked real loud. He lived with his brother in a house right across from my grade school on Buckley Road. And his dad lived in a different house, but his dad was the janitor at Melville High School. His name was Ozzy. His nickname was Ozzy. Everybody knew Ozzy, the janitor. But Tim would roam the neighborhood. And my grade school was right there, St. Matthias. He would roam. And we always went back to the grade school after school to play sports. He was always around, always walking around, talking to us. And everybody knew him. And he'd go to Melville. Melville High School backs up to my high school. The fields do. And I went to Melville High School. So he would go to every football game. And you could just hear him yelling because he loved sports. And he would yell for the team. So my graduating class, the cheerleaders made him #1 fan. So they got him a jacket and said Melville's #1 fan. He loved it. But everybody knew Ozzy, Tim. Yeah. So my senior year, our basketball coach, Coach Luce, was the most intense human being in the world. But he was just like Bobby Knight. But great, I loved him. I still in touch with him occasionally. But we were all shocked because when we were on the basketball, we would go away. We couldn't talk on the bus ride. But Tim was there so often that he let Tim ride the bus. So we'd wait for Tim to get on the bus. That's just a little side note. So Tim would go to every away game, every home game, and he was just part of the fixture, and every generation that left graduating class kind of took him under their wing. So years go by. I'm gone, obviously, go to college, become a policeman eventually. And around 2000, trying to figure out 2008, 2009, with Brad, I'm in Mobile Reserve. Brad owns my partner. He's driving. We're coming down right there at Broadway and 55. We're one of the side streets right there where the Wiffle Dome is, whatever.
Yeah, Osceola.
Used to be, yeah, Osceola. I see, I'm riding. I see this kid, this guy. He's searching through the big dumpster. So I look over and I'm looking. And I go, Brad, stop. I go, and he gets out and it's Tim. And I'm like, what was he doing down there? So I yell for him. I go, Tim. And I yell loud because he's a little hard of hearing. So he comes over, sees me. He's nervous because I'm in the police car. And I go, Tim, get your ass over here. And he's like, yes, sir. And he's like, I go, Tim, look at me. And he looks, he goes, and he recognizes me. So he's like, oh, Joyner. And he's like so excited to see me. I go, what are you doing? He says, well, I'm living on the street. I'm homeless. I go, because he had a job at the VA hospital, and he always would go take the bus, and he was a regimented guy. He lost his job there because I think some kids were taking advantage of him. They found out that he had a little bit of money, and they would kind of, I would love to know who these kids are, but they pretty much ran him homeless, and he was getting late to work, so they ended up letting him go. So he became homeless. And I think Ozzy, his dad must have passed away by then. And so I see him, tells me he's homeless. I'm like, where are you living? He said, I'm living under the Jefferson Barracks Bridge at Shoto. I go, are you serious? I could not believe it. So I gave him, for me, back I was broke as a joke, paying child support. So I gave him all the money I had. I go here, and I gave him money. And he said, oh, thanks. And he was so happy to see me and everything. So I was like devastated, And then I said, one day I was working, so I went down to the Jefferson Barracks. I pulled my police car and walked down there to see.
So it's Jefferson and Shoto.
Jefferson and Shoto.
Okay.
So I went down under the yes.
You're saying Jefferson
Barracks? Yeah. No.
You're in South County.
I'm
at
sorry,
that point.
you cut that.
I hear you.
So I got on. There's a little trail that goes down there, and there's definitely a homeless camp under the overpass on Jefferson and Shoto, and I could see little spots where people were living. And Tim, when we used to go to his house in high school and throw many parties till his dad would come and kick us all out. So Tim was always real neat. His bedroom was always perfect, and it wasn't the nicest house in the neighborhood, but he had everything perfect. He was anal like that. So I go down there and I see there's a mirror, and there's one guy that has everything really nice in his little spot where he's like, oh, this has got to be Tim's spot. So I had bought White Castles. I put White Castles there. So then he ended up getting them because I found out later. I make sure he got them. But so I called my buddy Tom Priest because I was like, we need to do something with this kid. Not only anybody knows he's homeless. So Tommy Priest is a buddy of mine. He lived by Tim also, and his wife is volunteered to food kitchens downtown. She used to come down every Saturday with their kids. So I told him about it, so I figured he could get the word out. He had a good job at AB at the time. So we started passing the word. The word got out. A guy named Ken Stevenson, who was my brother's age, lived next door to him. He became the real hero of the whole thing. So he found out, and the word just got out. So we had a little fundraiser for him. But Ken says to me, and I'd see him at Busch Stadium once in a while. He'd roam. He just always was walking around roaming. So Tim Osborne said, before that, I'm trying to think. Anyway, but Tim would show up at the Cardinal games out there by the outfield, and you could kind of look through the new stadium, and he would just kind of stay there, and you can see the TV. So he always stand out there. I'd seen him a few times. So Ken Stevens says, when you see him next, make sure you call me, and I'm going to grab him and try to take care of him. So I said, all right. And so months went by, and I hadn't seen him because he's just always roaming. And so I kind of started asking about where he'd be. So anyway, one day on a Sunday, he was at Busch Stadium. So I see him because I'm working the game. And I walk out there and I go, Tim, do not leave. You stay right here. Somebody wants to come get you or talk to you. Ken Stevenson does. So I call Ken. I go, I got Tim. He says, I'm coming right now. So I go, perfect. So anyway, Tim, I had to go because I had to do something for the game. So don't you leave. Whatever you do, don't leave. He goes, all right. So Ken calls me. He said, I'm pulling up. So I met him out there. And Ken took him in and got him all kinds. Got his Social Security back and all this kind of stuff. But then we had I guess we had a fundraiser for him at one point. So Tim he's still on the highway, and we're trying to take care of him. So I called Tom Priest. Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself. So I called Tom Priest and said, hey, he's down here. So his family, his wife, I said, works and does food kitchen, but he was part of some kind of program. So I can get this organization to give sleeping bags to Tim and whatever else he needs. So we get sleeping bags and a bunch of my high school, the cheerleaders and different people find out about this. And so they donate a bunch of stuff with jackets and different things. So I get this haul of things to give to Tim. So Tommy calls me and said, I got the sleeping bags. We thought there was multiple people down there. So we got the sleeping bags to bring down there. I said, all right, perfect. So I was off. Mobile was still working there. I took off for some reason. My son was there, and he was in high school. So I said, Tom, I'm going to come get you, and we'll go down and drop the stuff off. It's getting around dusk time, and it was just about this time before the winter really kicked in. So I put Michael in the car. I thought this will be good for him to see, whatever. He's in high school and whatever. So we drive down there. I have my officers meet. They park on Shoto, and then me and Michael and Tommy, we walked down there to make sure he's there. We're not sure he's going to be there. So we were walking down there to see him. And I keep yelling, Tim, Tim, Tim. And I walk down there. I got a flashlight, and he's there. It's just fate had it. He was there by himself. And I go, he's, hi. I go, did you get those White Castles? He goes, I knew that was you. I knew that was you. I said, you need to come back. We got some stuff for you. So we walked him back to the car, and we gave him sleeping bags and a coat and all this stuff. And he had a terrible cough, and and then I didn't want to get, didn't know what he had. So he wanted to hug everybody, and I fisted him. He hugged my son. I'm like, what are you hugging him for? He's dirty. But, and Tommy hugged him. I'm like, oh boy. So we gave him all this stuff, and we put him there. And so Tommy worked on a place for him to stay. He finally got a place for him to stay in a house on Cherokee Street somewhere down that way. And so this group of people took him in and stuff, and so I'd go visit him, and he didn't like it because they're real regiment. They'd read Bible verses for him, but they always made him come in at a certain time, and he was always a kid that he was always free to do whatever he wanted to walk. So he actually walked away from him. So I went back there, checked on him, he's doing good. I went back there again the second time, and he was gone again. So he left. He walked away from it. So he was homeless again. So I got the word out that he's roaming the streets again, and that's when we did this big push. And that's when Ken Stevenson came in, who lived next to him, and says, Jimmy, if you find him again, let me know. So everybody was out looking for him. So we did, so I found him at Busch Stadium, hanging outside Busch Stadium when I was working the game. And so Ken came and grabbed him, and Ken took him in his house, and he got his Social Security back for him. He did all kinds. Went to the doctor. They found out that he had multiple heart attacks while he was on the street.
On the street. They
could tell, because he had a full workup. They said his IQ was like at 71 or something. It's just a little below. It's
you.
he was like he was pretty smart. He was smarter than it wasn't. He's on the spectrum for autism too, but his IQ was just above the thing where they can call you to say that you're retarded,
disabled.
I think retardation or whatever. He was right just above that, but he was hard of hearing. So he's always real smart. His memory was incredible. It was unreal what he remember. And he always used to read off stats in my senior year, how many points I had and how would I add. He knew. I think he made all those up most of the time, but we always loved to ask him what our stats were. But anyway, so Ken brings him in and does this, and we ended up some of the people I went to high school and graduated. We got a day at football game for Tim Osborne Day to honor him at halftime. It was new jacket. We got him a new jacket. So and they took pictures of it, of him going there, and then Tim, it was like the greatest day in the world for him when he went there, because he hadn't been back there for so long. It was too far to walk.
That's a great story.
So we got him down. So and it doesn't really kind of end there. So how it ends is Ken Stevenson gets him a place in Jefferson Barracks apartment. So all the money he got from Social Security and all this stuff, and he got back money for him because he hadn't been collecting it for a while. So I thought, this is 2010 when an article came out in People magazine. So I assumed it, and I haven't heard from him. I heard he was fine living there, but we're in 2025. So he was old then, so I didn't think he'd still be alive. And he's probably 75 now, I'm guessing. And someone just took a picture of him in Jefferson Barracks, and he's gray as he can be. And they must have yelled out his name, and he stopped and he waved, and they took a picture of him. So he's still alive, still in Jefferson Barracks.
Still down there in Jefferson Barracks?
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yep. That's the story. And then Ken Steven passed away, and thank God for Ken. He really was the game changer for Tim, actually.
Well, I think that you had a lot to do with that too, getting it started. Obviously, like you said, you're going through a divorce with child payments. You weren't in the particular situation to be doling out money.
Yeah. I mean, I saw him in Lafayette Square walk in. I'd yell for him, and I was always joke with him. I'd yell, Tim, get over here, and he'd get like. Every time he'd fall for it, and I go, it's me. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. But he'd get nervous when a police car would pull up. But Tim he's just a unique individual, and I'm glad he's still alive, still around.
That's an awesome story, JJ.
Very good.
And that's what I was saying. He busted that out.
The
Rev. He busted that out in the middle of his thing, and I was like, hey, man, that's worthy of its own story.
Yeah, that is.
Just don't break that out.
You're a good guy, JJ.
And,
Let's just take that right into a Zen.
I'm going to buy JJ some cigars from Riverman Cigar Company.
Okay, good.
Just because of that, do you know if Tim smokes cigars?
He'd do anything. So the funny thing about Tim, he always we'd search for him in high school because we couldn't buy beer, so we always knew he was roaming the neighborhood.
Oh, God.
So we'd grab him.
So you had to ruin the story.
No, it's good.
No, I'm kidding.
He'd get in the car. He'd get in the car, and we'd go take him to the liquor store. We'd give him money. He would go and buy our beer for us. He never got. I don't even know if he had an ID, but no one ever carded him. So that's when he became a really good friend.
That is.
But he would come and hang out with us. And especially when we were like freshmen, we couldn't drive anywhere. We'd hang out at the back of the school and stuff, and he would always show up and entertain us. So it is what it is.
Very good. And that was the Melville class of
82.
All right. Now we're going to follow it up with your Zen. Come on, baby.
I don't know when I'm supposed to start.
It's up to
Anytime
you.
when-
This is.
My flank feel it.
Yeah, you'll feel it. You'll know when the time is right.
Don't quit, JJ.
Grow through what you go through.
Shit. That should end with shit. Grow through what you go through.
Yep.
Shit.
And it's brought to you by who?
Prime Performance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Prime Performance. If you need a low
You can grow-
testosterone, you go get a shot.
Speaking
Low
of
T's.
growing,
You want to go there tomorrow?
Sure, let's go.
Tuesday.
I'm off.
Me too.
I get my
me too. Did you just say me too?
me too, my B2.
Look at JJ.
B12.
He's just rhyming all over the place.
the hell?
B2, B12.
Enjoy Victor Failoni and Joe Miner. What else you got?
No, I got nothing. I'm just getting ready for this wedding, and I guess the next time we'll talk to you, the wedding will be over.
I
Good luck
do
with
have
that.
something real quick.
What's
Go ahead,
that?
bro.
One of our first podcasts, Melissa Dawes, the missing of Nancy Brandon. It's been getting some updates on it. There's some things moving. So today, actually, I got a message from her and talked to her on the phone on the way here. Shrewsbury is out. The suspect they believe could be responsible, and they're doing radar for her yard and trying to see if there's any.
We might have a tremendous update.
Hopefully,
some closure.
Hopefully, we got some news on that. They have been doing some things on
Yeah,
that.
they're
We
working
haven't
it.
updated on it.
They're
So
working
It's the second time. They did it once before,
Yes.
in October 8th, and now they're back again today, redoing something. They got sticks or the little red flags they're putting in the yard. I don't know what it's about, what it means, or what it's about, but
anytime you see those little red flags, you know something's about to get tore the
Something's
fuck
gonna
up.
go down.
Let's
Something's
see.
about to get tore the fuck up.
Enjoy the interview. Hit that subscribe button. Welcome back. As promised, Tommy, we have some Hall of Fame restaurateurs of the city of St. Louis. Failoni's up the street here from Colombo's, also in Dogtown. We have Victor Failoni and his nephew Joe Miner with us today, and we're going to try to we're going to peel the onion on how Failoni's became the icon restaurant bar that it is. Tommy, and you grew up with the Failoni's.
I did. We grew up in Pebble Hill, and I grew up probably 5 houses down.
Afton, yeah.
Really?
5 houses down, and all of the Failoni kids babysat me. Alex,
I babysat you most. I think.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Alex,
At least once a
Rosetta,
month.
and then
That's not
Victor.
good.
And whoever was
You did a
available.
terrible
Because
job.
my
How old
mom,
are you, Victor?
That's not good.
61.
All right.
he's only a couple years older. They just needed to keep me in.
Just keep an eye on it. You just had to keep an eye on
Make sure I didn't burn nothing down.
Right.
Did they all have to watch you at the same time?
An army of Failoni's.
Actually, when I was younger, yes. Then as I got older, it was just Vic. Vic was just make sure that I didn't burn nothing down.
Right.
And then it was usually when our parents would be going out. My dad and Mr. Failoni were Alex Sr. Were best of friends.
Okay.
And so I grew up around the Failoni's, in the Failoni's Tavern. Went to Failoni's Tavern every Sunday morning at 9 a.m.
Far.
Cleanup day.
Cleanup day. And my father would sit back at the round table as he did just about every day.
Great customer.
Yep.
He kept us in business. He did.
And
he was the original round table guy.
One of them.
yeah, he was.
Was he really
there.
one of the original round table guys?
Well, we go back, 100 years.
Your age, your era.
Yeah, we moved in the neighborhood in 1960, and shortly after that, a couple of years later, he was coming in every week till he passed. However long that's been, but he was a great
So
customer.
the Failoni's on Manchester opened in 1960?
16,
1916.
109 years. Yes.
Wow.
109.
In that building.
Same building.
Damn.
How did it open?
My dad's dad, which would be my grandpa, opened it.
That's crazy.
I can make a long story short. He was 1886, he was born, and like 1903, he came over, did the Ellis Island thing, and came over. And a couple years later, he was in Indiana, and he got a job at a steel mill, and he just took off and was very talented, and he was a chipper, and he did really well. And next thing you know, about 100 years ago, Scullin Steel opened right across the street here, and they needed some steel workers, and my grandpa led a team of 8 and came from Gary, Indiana, and that's how it all started. He'd get off at night after a few years. I mean, he was a real big guy. Like, he could move machinery that people needed, machinery to do. You know what I mean? He was real strong, real big, and his body was getting a little, he could see, it was what it was doing on him. So he's like, I got to do something else one of these days. So he'd look across the street when he got off, and he saw how busy Lem Brewery owned Failoni's back then. He'd see how busy it was, and he thought, God, I might try to buy that bar. It's funny how things start, right?
Wow.
So he offered him $9,700 109 years ago.
Wow, that's a lot
Which,
of
if you
money.
Google today, it's like $280 or something.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's where it all started.
That's a
Oh
steal.
my God. Now, Victor, we did a show excerpt on the word Hoosier, and I want to the base came from Indiana, so I want to verify this. Did your grandpa bring a team of workers from the Indiana steel mill down to Scullin because they were on strike?
He was an original Hoosier?
He was the original Hoosier, because I want to check this. We have to check this because that's how it came. In South St. Louis, the name Hoosier came up because there was a steel mill in Indiana
Really?
that sent workers
is all new
down
to
during
me.
a strike.
Had to be.
And I'm wondering if that strike was at Scullin Steel, and your grandpa brought 8 co-workers.
A team of 8 he headed.
Wow.
The
That could be a
original
re-
Italian Hoosier.
You ought to look that up, Victor. Yeah, no, seriously.
You think could we find out something like that?
Yeah, I think I think we will. Producer John, do you remember that?
I thought you were going to I thought you were going to tell producer John to Google it. Google that.
No. Do you remember that story though?
I remember the story. I don't remember the strike.
You missed that part.
Okay, well, we're going to look into that because that's fascinating.
That is pretty
So
cool.
$9,700, and he opened it up.
But
And
$280 today.
They had reservations. They were like,
seems like it'd be
at
more
first
than
they were
$280.
like, probably not. And then like a few days later, supposedly they contacted them and said, you know what, we'll take it.
Wow.
You gave us an offer, we can't refuse.
And yeah, hey, awesome. And how did it start up as? Was it just a bar, or was it bar and food immediately?
Just a bar.
Just a bar.
Now, your father, Alex Sr., did he grow up here in St. Louis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So he was born here in St. Louis, or was he?
Yes, my dad and all 3 of his brothers.
Okay.
At one time, they were all involved, and then by like the late 70s, my Uncle Joe took over Kiel Auditorium and managed that, and then my dad was just my dad, and then eventually my brother turned 21, and he came in, and then it all snowballed. Then my mom took the kitchen over when my grandma passed away in '79. She didn't want to do it, but my dad begged her. He's like, "We got to have food. You know, we need you." And then he made it sound like it would be no big deal, and he reeled her in. In 1981, she took the kitchen over, and she's still in there 85.
And that's
4
when
days
that-
a week.
Actually,
amazing.
and it was your mom that kept. Filoni's was struggling.
You're
People
right.
think of Filoni's as just this magnet of it was always busy.
No,
It was not.
everyone
busy.
goes through turbulence.
Okay.
Right. And when
my
she
da-
took over the kitchen was right around the time they turned that thing around.
Scullin's closed. Yeah, there was not much to draw from. And my dad always credits your dad as being loyal customer, bringing people in every day when we were struggling. He'd always say, Tom Sawyer help. When I joke about him keeping us in business, that's what I mean.
So my dad was
Wow.
a business manufacturer's rep. So they had a little clique, all the salespeople and whatnot.
Had a little free time.
And my dad would start his day at about 4 a.m. He'd get up and he'd work out, and then he would
Just like you.
Yeah,
right.
gee.
MAC.
Yeah, he'd go to the MAC, and then he would then he'd come home and putz around, and then he would head to Filoni's for lunch, and then he would start his day there, and then he would go to the country club and play gin after that, and then he would go home and watch Wheel of Fortune and get up the next day and start it
Do it
all over again. Yeah.
For those listeners, we have listeners all over the world, Victor, and tell us about the round table, the history of the round table. For those listeners, when you walk in the backside of Filoni's, there's a huge 10-person, 10-top
Yeah, like
table.
eight.
And normal Joe Schmo can't just walk into Filoni's and belly up at that table. I was lucky enough to be invited there a couple times, but I want to know a little history of that table.
There's really not much to say. It's just like It is what it is. I mean, you've been there so long, you don't even think twice about it.
Okay.
You just, but people, it's the thing where people walk in and see, and they just know not to go sit down there
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Right.
And then
Because it
some
is
people come in 10, 15 years, and they're like, God, I always want to be invited to the back table. And you're like, go sit down. You know what
Are
I
you
mean?
serious?
Yeah.
So
It's
I
like-
made more of it than it is because I know you couldn't just sit down there. It'd be
Well, I think the people that really adored the round table were his father and his father's
yeah,
friends.
yeah. Your
So a
dad
lot of
held
those
court
people
there.
have
Sure.
moved on. So you would get a stink eye back in the day. You sat there.
Yeah.
You know, with
Right.
your father and my father and all the regulars.
Right.
They would sit there and then
They
if you
better
sat
know
there,
you.
they'd be like, "Who's
Better
that?"
buy a round.
Right.
Yeah, you better at least buy a round.
I was a young policeman going in there, and your dad. First of all, I don't think there's a mean person in the Failoni family. Just always so gracious people. But
Did you see Joe? Joe.
we're about to get into Joe. He might be the thorn that has a little edge, but I don't know. But I was always intimidated. Your dad was so friendly, and I had no reason to be intimidated. But that table intimidated me, and your dad could have been sweeter of a human, but. I would never belly up there. A couple times he asked me, just because there was an empty seat, I think. But what a neat, dynamic person he was.
He was. He was a great man. It was all about family, and
Yes.
and he really respected policemen and wanted to always take care of policemen, and it just and it passed that down to all of us, and it was always a mutal respect there.
So we're going to get.
Always will be.
We've had a silent member here the whole time, and Joe, when did you? How early in your life did you realize? I mean, did you get to the whole?
It was your
Failoni thing?
destiny.
Right?
God, it was since I was little. I mean, my mom would wait tables there. So like if she couldn't find a babysitter, she'd be like, "You're coming to work with me." Yeah. I'd be like 6, 7 years old, and I just kind of either sit in the corner and eat all grandma's food, or I'd go help her bust tables whenever I could. And then I remember about eight kind of helping here and there during summertime with lunches. But not till I was like 10 or 12. I would do like Friday night help busing and stuff like that. And then led to when I was 16 or so, started bar backing to just keep going on and on through college and stuff.
So your uncle Alex started a tradition there, and I don't know on Thursdays where he would sing, and you growing up got that talent, and when did you start? Because you were big in that in high school, correct?
Yes.
And when did you know that you had that?
I don't know if I have it. I just wait till everyone gets drunk and then I sound really good.
But all about time.
But when I was like 8, like I was doing twist and shout with Tom Kelly'd call me up. I'd be nervous and I'd just go twist and shout, and everyone just, I don't know why, but they loved it.
It was great.
Because you're a little cute little
So
kid.
you were performing there as a youngster?
Oh yeah, Friday nights. Yeah, I do twist and shout only, and went up real quick and then got off as quick as I can. So,
But did that get you used to? I mean, because you did that in high school, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, you got into the plays and you sang a lot.
no, I didn't do any plays.
No, but you sang a lot.
I did.
correct?
I did. Yeah, but I started doing the Backstreet Boys and the Black Eyed Peas and
Nice.
getting everyone up, getting them dancing, kind of doing good.
And we'll get into your role here later, but one of the roles that I think that the Failoni family looks forward to you taking over is to keep this ball rolling.
Got to.
And all us old heads are fading, and we need that younger generation to get in. And I know that you've done that over the years, and I know that
Columbus
Victor.
fly.
There's our fly.
There's only one.
Still alive.
There's just one fly.
What's his name?
It's our
Every
pet,
show.
actually.
Tommy. Tommy the fly. But so is that what you do full time now? You're working at Failoni's?
Full time. So graduated college in 2009, and my uncle called me. He's like, "We're going to put pizzas here." He goes, "And I want you to do it. I want you to run it." I was like, "Okay." Call my dad. I was like, "Dad, I know you spent 4 years at college, but I'm going to the family business." Great, just great.
I always
but I loved it.
I always knew you, like, he was the one. If anyone was going to come, and he was kind of built for it. I remember,
I always loved it too.
Do you remember me calling you at Rockers like in 08? I'm like, hey, I don't know what your plans are when you graduate, but I hope you're at least planning on bartending like one night a week. He's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, all right, good.
awesome.
You got to keep your foot in the door.
Now, did you take over singing Sinatra like your uncle?
No, I'll do a Sinatra here and there, but no, I
Because
just
he was unbelievable. With
I couldn't.
That.
He
You
was.
can't compare to that.
Will we have
No.
video we can put in of it?
I think, I can put that.
Yeah,
in.
there's some on
We'll
YouTube.
put
That'd be
a
cool.
thing
You
in
can go
there
on
of Alex
YouTube,
singing.
Google,
Okay.
YouTube and Google him.
What about him? We video of him.
God, no, please don't.
Now,
why
Victor,
Just tell him to come down on Friday. I'll give him a show.
when I started first going into Filoni's, you were working for the phone company, right?
Right.
And then you kind of came in later. How did that transition happen?
It was like I was at the phone company from 87 to 92, and I remember like 91 or so, they were getting ready to build that strip mall across the street. You know, and back then you're like, oh my God, they moved the railroad tracks. They're going to build a strip mall. It's going to be crazy, you know. And we talked to my dad and my brother. And it's like, maybe I'll make the transition. They're like, yeah, you know, we got room for you. Let's do it. So that was what, 34 years ago. And then, so yeah, I was at the company, Southwestern Bell, 5 years and 1 week. And I made the move.
Yeah. It's just, this is just so mind-boggling in the history of within a quarter mile on Manchester Avenue. So Italian family Colombo's goes back almost the same amount of time. And Colombo's had a steam table for the Scullin steel workers and cashed their checks. And then you guys served them beer and whatever the heck. And two families made their family livings off of this avenue, Italian families. Pretty fascinating.
The Manchester Mile.
The Manchester Mile, yeah.
Nope. And somebody said, why don't you hang out at Filoni's more often? I go, I always felt more comfortable down the street from Filoni's. You know, just because I grew up down the street from Filoni's and you know, and Filoni's, we'll get into Thursdays. And the Thursdays at Filoni's are historic, have been since when? When did you guys start that Thursdays, Vic?
Like 85.
How did it start?
We had a guy coming in, and my dad knew him, and he played accordion. And we, yeah, that's how it started.
The accordion started the Thursday nights?
Like at noon on a Thursday. And this guy would come in. His name was Don Kotzman. He was really good. And it's crazy how it started. And he would play from like, I don't know, noon to 4, something like that. And then next thing you know, people started reserving tables. It'd be a bunch of blue hairs, whatever. Yeah. But that's how it all started. Next thing you know, we didn't have no patio or nothing. It was all inside. And next thing you know, you know, after several months, you're like, oh, we're booked, you know, if you want a table. And then that's just how it snowballed.
And then when did Alex
Then he got
kick
sick, and then we brought a gal in like in 1987, 88 named Zoanne Edison, you know, pretty young blonde lady that had a nice voice. And then she took that over from the accordion player, and then it just snowballed from there.
Did you guys pay the accordion player, or was he volunteer, or what?
Yeah, my dad paid.
Okay.
I can't remember how much.
Oh, yeah.
I got to tell a story that with Alex, because he was the face of the place.
Yes.
Because he was such a good singer. But I had to get a reservation, even though he and I know each other from college. I had to call and get a reservation for a Friday. I brought my mom, and she was in her 80s, and all her little blue hair friends, and we had nice dinner. And so we were sitting there eating. I knew Alex would be singing. So they loved it. They couldn't have beamed anywhere. Well, then Alex comes over singing. You know, he walked around. He'd bartend and sing. It was pretty neat. He sat at the table with all my mom and her friends, and you would have thought they died and went to heaven. They thought this was the greatest thing ever.
He was just belting out Sinatra.
Yes, and they loved it, dude. They had the best time. It was so funny. So, but that's my story. That's it. But Alex' story.
He was great. He was amazing.
But you mentioned also, JJ, you went to Quincy with Vic.
Yes.
You guys graduated together?
Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Vic, were you in the Pacer at anyone? JJ tells a story about
Did you remember the Pacer story?
somebody had a Pacer.
Mike Sanders had a Pacer.
AMC Pacer.
And he was one that, it was when we were living in the suites.
Sure.
And I needed we decided we needed to run to Hardee's late at night on a snowstorm.
Right.
And so he let me borrow, which I was shocked. So I got in the Pacer, a bunch of us jumped in, and I started doing donuts. I told the story once already, but started doing donuts on Main Street towards Hardee's, and then everybody says, all right, it's enough. That's enough. So as soon as I straightened it out, started going slow on the snow, policeman drives right past us. But probably could have ruined my whole career. I'd probably be doing
Right there.
Right.
And
That's
You,
the way it started.
you got taken out. You get taken out by a Pacer.
Yeah, I just say this, out of all the guys that we went to school with, if you line us all up our graduation day and say which one's going to be a policeman, I'd probably been the last one.
You'd have been done.
Really?
You'd have been, yeah.
Victor, so Filoni's became known as a cop-friendly bar, and a lot of policemen hung out there. But can you tell us of, at the round table, one regular policeman that just was a true character that just stands out? I think I could take a guess, but I want to see who you say.
Gosh, there were so many.
The first one that comes to mind that just was a character.
Well, we still got Bob Griffin every week.
Oh, okay, yeah,
He
yeah.
goes back.
Oh,
he goes
Griff-
back how long?
Oh my
yeah,
God!
yes.
He's
Oh
still,
my
He's
God!
still,
yeah.
he's still there every week for lunch.
Oh
on a
wow!
Tuesday.
Okay. Yep.
And maybe one of the Moriarty.
Was Godfrey? Was God?
Tom Godfrey.
Yeah.
Greg Hawkins.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Hawkins was a great guy. He'd do anything for you.
So when did the policeman get to sit at the round table?
Whenever.
I mean, was it early right away? I mean,
Sure.
O'Toole sits
Alex
there.
would. Alex Senior would usually like 5 or 6
yeah.
times out days. Sit down, Danny. But
Right.
just something that came into my head is I was a lieutenant in the 5th district, and I think your dad got me transferred, got me a job in communications because he was really tight with Major Hawkins. And then so I went up there and Major Hawkins was at the round table. That's how funny, goofy things happen.
Right.
Major Hawkins was at the round table.
John.
Johnny, plug it in the back of the computer. Just plug that thing in
But Major Hawkins happened to be at the round table.
right there on the edge.
He was
Oh, it's everything
Hold
shut
on.
down.
Now should be good now.
Should be. I got a question too, farm, but people that come in there.
Power strip wasn't plugged in? Look at this is how I think about the round table. These are all codes.
That's pretty good.
This is the round table.
That's a round. That's a circle.
It is. And then it makes me think about my story about the round table.
Hey, whatever works.
It's like hieroglyphics.
I like it.
We get it into the pizza place here in a minute.
All right,
How it
Brian.
started.
But
Yeah. Let me
I got
finish
one
my
question. I
thought,
want
'cause
one.
That's true. Now I just put it together, just like the Hoosier thing. I'll do some research on that. I
that sounds
think
pretty
that's where the definition of the word Hoosier came from, because I did the research on
That'd be
the
crazy.
name,
That'd be
and it
crazy.
said Indiana steel mill workers came here during a strike, and so the strikers said, "You Hoosiers," because Indiana, the Hoosiers up there.
Sure.
So that's probably that's how it started. then.
Yeah, they used it in a
Negative.
A negative way
connotation.
here in
Wow.
Indiana, where your grandpa came from, it was a positive. It's a nickname.
Tom, you got a password?
Oh, blue line capital B with the capital L. 1568.
Is that your DSN?
I looked it up real quick. There was a
Birthday.
strike in 1960.
Try again, John.
Right, hit that.
And out of state, it was Scullin Steel.
Oh,
So maybe they came here because their thing was closed. That's good. That's good.
Oh, it's still going.
so you have to chop up some stuff.
I just brought this
My
out.
audio. So what should I do? Should I start over with my?
No, I would just go right with Major Hawkins. Start over with the Major Hawkins story.
Okay. You ready, Johnny?
Yep.
Anyway, what it just struck me is that round table, and you mentioned Major Hawkins was one of the regulars up there. There was a time when your father invited me down, and it's the first time I met Major Hawkins.
Really?
So I was a lieutenant in the 5th district. I don't know what brought me there. And so I got to know Major Hawkins and had a few drinks with him and this and that. And pretty soon he calls me up and says, would you want to be the commander of the communications division, which was a great job with a take-home car. And it was off campus, so I was my own boss. But
This is the beginning of the Bigfoot.
This is that's
a lot
when
of history.
Bigfoot
We're
started.
figuring out a lot of things.
He was never to be seen from again.
So I think I owe your dad because my relationship with Major Hawkins, because it grew, and that's pretty neat.
Right. But we thought a lot of Gray. He was a great guy.
He really was.
Now, one of the things that Filoni's is known for is with all their food. Your mother just tore up that menu when she took it over in 1981. But you guys are known for your pizza. How did that start? I believe it started with your uncle.
Well, my dad's dad, Leo. We was here with Brown Shoe, and he moved to Kansas City like real early '70s, and he opened Leo's Pizza, I think in 1973. It's still there today. And like the grandkids run it. And
that's in Kansas City?
Yeah, North
Okay.
Kansas City in Gladstone. It's in a plaza, Inglewood Plaza. It's called Leo's Pizza. And then you can go from there, Joe.
Yeah, just I was at Rockhurst, and we talked about taking this to St. Louis, and my uncle called me, and I went to the restaurant, kind of learned a couple things here and there, kind of picked it up whenever I had spare time, and then we brought it basically during this time. My uncle was doing the addition in the back of the restaurant where we did the sheeter and the dough mixer and the new ovens and stuff like that, and by the time I graduated, we were ready to go. And like I literally graduated.
So
on a
you
Sunday.
actually brought home the recipe and started?
Well, yeah,
I'm not trying to give you, but you,
No.
you with Alex's,
Yes.
you know.
Him and my brother went up there and totally trained,
Yeah.
get it down, get the recipe down.
Yeah.
And then and then you started selling the Uncle Leo's, I guess we'll call it, at Filoni's first, correct?
Yes, about 16 years ago.
16, yeah.
And then tell us what happens after that and how it's going now.
So it's been great. I mean, obviously, took over to, just it's all fresh dough, fresh sauce, fresh ingredients, and people no one does anymore. Everyone buys those frozen crusts now, so we keep it fresh. And then 10 years ago, we opened Uncle Leo's, and we named it after my Uncle Leo, and that's been going great.
Where's that located?
South County, Tessa, in between.
Lynn Ferry.
Yeah,
Near Crossroads.
By Crossroads. We've ordered from there. Yep. They deliver to
Yes,
Crossroads.
yes.
Yeah.
That used to be the South County Strip when we were in high school.
Yeah.
You used to drive around there and,
Right.
and you just keep driving around.
wedge.
You had,
Policeman-
you had,
big policeman headache there.
You had White Castle right there. You had Shotzi's is there.
Shotsies.
And then you guys, and then they deliver, what's the bar we...
Crossroads.
Crossroads.
That's funny because when I would go to Crossroads, I'd order it and they'd deliver it. So I ordered one from home one time and I said, I'll come get it. But I did. So I got there and I'm like, your mom or something like, what's the name? And I told her my name and she's like, oh, okay. We're having this delivered to Crossroads. I go, no, that's not. I'm
So
not
they
there.
just
I'm not
assume
there.
that you called, you just deliver it to Crossroads.
You live there.
That's when you may have a problem.
I said, no. I knew you were going to send it there. I just would have went there and just sat there and had beer and waited for my pizza, which might be a good idea.
So now, Joey, did you start Uncle Leo's
Yes,
with Alex?
Yeah, me and Al. Yeah.
And then tell us because you're at Filoni's full time now down the
Correct.
street. And then what's going on with Uncle Leo's right now?
So then after Al passed, my brother became the partner now. So now we're partners, my brother John. And so he's there. My mom's working the counter. Obviously, you knew that. And my dad helps in the kitchen a little bit too, just to help out. But no, he's doing all that for Leo.
Should I tell the story about your mom?
Absolutely.
So I was telling these guys before, it was maybe a year or two ago. And Rosetta Failoni. That's Joey and John's mom. And she works there. And this kitchen, this Uncle Leo's, it was Saturday around 5:00, and this kitchen was popping. I mean, there's line everywhere. There's people everywhere.
The lobby's packed.
Food everywhere. Well, I hadn't seen Rosetta in a couple years. Well, then when she sees it, Tommy, how you doing? And then she's, how's the family doing? How's Connie doing? And she's rifling. I didn't know she knew my family that well. She's rifling off names. How the kids? Well, you got one of them feelings because it was so crowded.
People are looking at you
People
like,
are
wait a
looking
minute.
at me like I'm holding up the line. So I slid to the left, and as I slid to the left, Rosetta slid to the right, and she just followed me over, and I'm kind of looking behind me, and I'm looking at her, and she could have gave a flying you know what less. She was going to talk to me, and she really didn't care what anybody thought, you know. And then there was somebody else there helping her out, but she was going to take her time to make sure she talked to me. And,
Yeah.
and then that's how the Filoni's treated me every time I seen one of them. You know, I didn't hang out in there all the time. I would go in there occasionally on Thursdays. As we all know, it's crowded, and I don't like crowds.
Right.
But anytime I would go in there, I mean, it was like seeing family again. You know, Mrs. Filoni would come up and give me kisses and hugs, and same with Rosetta, and Mr. Filoni would, you know, just treat me like my father, you know. And it was just it was a pleasure to grow up with.
Yeah, that is
as
just
friends of the Filonis.
This really neat history.
Yeah,
Who is the most famous person that ever came?
yeah,
in
that's a
there?
good question.
That's a good question.
Gosh. I mean, we've had I don't know, John Goodman, Bob Gibson, you know, guys like Torrey used to come in, and Quenville, a lot of umpires, a lot of coaches. I can't think of anyone else.
Athletes, obviously, athletes
Right.
roll through.
Right. anyone,
A lot of athletes.
Did you get along with John Goodman?
sure.
Producer John and I were down at a famous bar called Joe Newmy's.
Yeah.
Joe Newmy's and Denny.
Kings Highway.
Yeah, Denny was friends with John Goodman. And producer John and I were at one end of the bar, and John Goodman and I think it was his girlfriend at the time, not his wife, comes in the other end, and they're talking. Oh yeah, no, whatever. He had a friend with him, and so Denny, I knew Denny really well too, and I said, send him down a Bud. I see he drinks a Budweiser, and it looks like this in his hand. It just swallows it up. So I sent him a Budweiser, and I said, he's a great Afton guy and this and that. So Denny gave him a beer, and John Goodman slid it back down the bar and said, I can buy my own beers. I'm like, wow.
No
Okay.
kidding.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Thank you.
I got a good John Goodman story.
Pissed
though.
me off a little bit. Hurt my feelings.
Well,
more
sure.
so.
Sure.
But on a good note, I was at the Seven Holy Founders picnic back in the day,
Yeah.
probably late 80s. Roseanne was kicking. Goodman was a star.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's from Afton High School, as many
Yes.
people know. Well, he was at the Seven Holy Founders picnic, and it was dollar beers. He threw 100 up and put 100 beers and said, pour 100 beers. I got my fair share of those because I happened to be there right when he ordered them. And I didn't say thanks. I didn't say shit to him. I just took them.
That's pretty cool.
Well, if you would have bought him one, he wouldn't have drank it then.
Yeah, I saw him come out of a grocery store, and I didn't know who. I knew who he was because I said, "Hey, you're the Roseanne guy." I didn't know his name. Didn't even know his name.
Did he acknowledge you?
Yeah, he gave me a head nod.
Yeah, that's the Roseanne guy.
Victor,
I mean, I was surprised to see him. I didn't know he was from St. Louis.
we've all enjoyed watching the transformation of Filoni's, and I had no idea going back to 1916. Where do you see Filoni's 10 years from now?
Gosh, you just keep doing the same thing, being consistent.
Now, will you ever just step away and retire? No. Your mom's still there, so
Yeah. I look bad if my 85-year-old mom's still working.
And you retire.
Take a leave of absence.
I mean, you think about it. You put that huge patio on, then you're building stuff.
You always
on.
try to, you just always try to
Keep it fresh?
fresh, and take nothing for granted, and update and do different things, and never get complacent.
Right.
Well, I think it helps that he's singing, or Joey's singing the Black Eyed Peas instead of Frank Sinatra. It might kind of try to get people of a different generation and, try to wane them off the Frank Sinatra.
Well, the crazy thing is, it's really Filoni's is for all ages. I mean, there's a lot of nights where we got a party for a 21-year-old or a 30-year-old, and it could be one in the corner for a 90-year-old.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what Thursdays has changed into.
Right.
When we weren't all that young when we were, we were in
The
the
80s
late
and
30s.
80s and 90s were different. There was
Right.
no cell phones, no GPS. I mean, bosses would bring their whole office in. That was a different world.
Yes.
It's nothing like that anymore.
Yep.
You could have kids running around.
Mike Deeb and I made it there like 30 Thursdays in a row.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, we get off at 3. We rush down there. But I remember the best is Alex, of course, was the star of the show, and you had other singers. But the mailman would come in on his route and sing a song. And then the cook from the place down the street would come in.
Right.
He'd sneak out the back door and come and sing a song and sneak back to work.
A gas man from Laclede.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a routine.
Yeah, and
the original
everybody, I just remember-
karaoke started there.
And it was all like business people back then.
Right. In the early 90s, it
Yeah.
was Anita Rosemont, Mary Daly, Ann Duran, Tom Lally, just a lot of
I
different
think Tom
entertainers.
Kelly would give him a mention too, right?
Well, yeah, I better. 31 years, and he's still there today.
Yeah.
31 years every Friday night.
Wow.
And he still sounds great and can sing anything. And he's
Been a fixture since
right. 31 years.
31 years.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he can
Right.
sing.
And was he there? You said the female started it.
On Thursday afternoons.
When did that whole Frank Sinatra? Because it was known for the Frank Sinatra kind of era singing. When did that?
That
kind
started with the accordion player. My
Really?
my brother had only sang in choir. I mean, he didn't know he could sing. I mean, other than in the car or the shower, And the accordion player got him up one Thursday. He's like, "Come on, sing something." My brother was like, "Well, I don't know," and he got him up and he started playing some Sinatra music. And I remember being away at college, and my mom's calling me, going, "Your brother's singing. He sounds like Sinatra." And I'm like, "What?" And that's where it all began. Like in the late 80s.
Wow.
Well, the joke was he would sing and still pour drinks and take
Yes.
orders.
Oh,
yeah.
while
Oh,
he was
yeah.
singing.
100%.
There's a lot of
That-
video on him.
Oh, hell yeah.
See him doing
That's awesome. He was
that. Just blew people away. You'd always have people making bets, he's lip singing, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Come on,
yeah.
man, he's been doing this for 15 years. You think he's been fooling them that long?
Right. That's crazy.
But
He had your dad's personality. He was just I've never seen him in a bad mood. I've never seen you in a bad mood.
Just
either.
don't mess with him.
Right.
He was tall, he was skinny and lanky, and
But he could go.
If you started a problem, he was going to finish it.
Yeah, he would take it
He
out.
was a lot
Yeah.
tougher than he looked.
Yeah. Well, he was a big, tall guy.
Yeah.
I'll just say this: he's the first man that, and when I haven't seen in a while, would always give me a hug.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Anyone
else you would have slapped.
I was like, hey,
yeah.
man.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
But he hugged everybody. He hugged everybody. He was awesome.
Right.
That's
Do we,
good.
do we,
Big heart.
we haven't left anybody out of the Failoni family, have we?
I don't think so.
We got your brother. We got your mother.
Our wives are great.
Yes.
They understand we're in the business. My wife Stephanie, his wife Mary Ann. It takes a good
hours.
to understand. Because we're there a lot.
Right.
It's consuming.
Victor and Stephanie live right by me.
Do they?
Yep. A couple houses away.
We're neighbors.
Same
Just
Rayfields?
like you
Yep,
and I
same
were.
raves.
All right.
Yeah. Did you know that?
You had to get out of Pebble Hill. Pebble Hill's still kicking, man. That still looks good. Them houses look so small nowadays.
Right.
I thought they
ride
were
our bikes.
big old houses.
Yeah.
My friends are moving in there now.
Look, Pebble Hill.
Yeah, a couple friends that moved in there.
Good starter home.
All
All right. Before we wrap it up, Joe, since Tommy mentioned the Black Eyed Peas and going a different direction, do you have a vision for Failoni's that you see in 5-10 years that anything?
No, I mean I don't want to change much. I want to keep it
tradition.
family, keep it going. I just want to keep it going another at least 50 more years.
Yeah.
So do what I can. Just keep bringing new generations in.
It'll go another 100 years because I guarantee somebody back in 1916, let's just do this for 20, 30 years, and then all of a sudden your dad comes along, and then Alex, then you, and it'll be your kids or something. It'll be here. 100
But your
years from
father
now.
was an electrician, right?
Oh, a contractor, but
Home
Contractor?
builder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Forever. He did that a
Nope.
long time.
And he stayed out of the whole restaurant
He did.
thing, correct?
He's smart.
He steer clear to that whole thing.
Yeah.
Good for him.
But it's it's been priceless having Joe though, because I couldn't do it by myself, especially since
Absolutely.
my
And it's in the
brother passed.
family still.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, that
Right.
you can find
You
a lot
can
of
see
people
how
that.
people in the business can lose, can go out of business, if the next generation don't want it or they're not interested or they want to sell out. It's hard, 109 years is,
And Joe, how long have you been there?
full time 09, so 16 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
full time.
Greg Colombo used to always tell me that, and I'm sure it's the same down there, is that the place doesn't run as efficient unless there's blood
Right.
in the
I
building.
totally agree with that.
Yeah.
100%.
Things
one
operate
else-
differently when
you
people
could
are
have
around.
you could have great help, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it is
Not
what
the
it is.
same.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come, they want to see, they want to see.
They want to
help.
see you.
Sure.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
pretty cool. Well, anything we missed, Tommy?
Oh. Well, if you see my sister, tell her I said hi.
I will. You better call her. That's kind of the impression I
Just
got.
tell her-
Actually, my sister is, my name's Tom Sawyer. You know my sister's name is?
Becky.
Connie Sawyer.
Diane Sawyer.
Diane
Diane.
Sawyer. Diane Sawyer.
So,
Diane,
Tom
that's
Sawyer and
Your
Diane
wife?
Sawyer.
Yeah.
And then her nickname was Buzz because there was a cartoon back in the day called Buzz Sawyer. So her friends called her Buzz. And then when I went to college, nobody around here ever called me. When I went to Scottsdale and I was playing ball, they found out that I called my sister Buzz at one point. Oh, who's that? They go, that's my sister's nickname. They go, that should be your nickname. So they started calling me Buzz, but not because of the cartoon.
Yeah, really? Really? Okay, Tommy.
No doubt.
All right, Buzz. You got a new
Thanks.
nickname here too now, buddy.
Thanks for having us, fellas.
No, it was
Yeah,
very
no, that was
cool.
great. Thanks for
awesome.
taking your time.
Neat history.
I love the flow.
appreciate
Victor,
it.
thank you. Tommy, what about our communities?
Communities that support law enforcement are safer places to live.
Boom.
Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.
That's, I mean,